when I was here, I sat last row, third seat in, and if you came to me and said, in 30 years you're going to be on the stage, public speaking, I would have said, not a chance. And I think over time, you'll find that things that you find uncomfortable to do, things that you like to do or don't like to do are going to change over time. And you're going to move in directions of things that you find interesting. What I'd like to do today, and the reason I'm here, is to kind of give you some feedback as to how I went from where you're sitting today and went through the process of deciding on civil engineering, moving through my career paths, and eventually ending up down in Orlando working on some fabulous projects. I did have the fortune of being here when the Brayton Arena opened. They finished the arena around Christmas of '79, and we played the first game there in February. We played Pomfret School. I have the distinct pleasure of scoring the first official goal there. It was a nice pass from David Walker out of the corner at my feet and put it 5-hole in the goalie. We lost the game 9-1. And in order to commemorate that great moment in KO history and my first goal, this is the picture that was in the Hartford Current the following day. And it reads, inaugural event action. A player from the Pomfret School takes a dive while racing for the puck against John McNary, 16, a member of the Kingswood Oxford School varsity hockey team, Wednesday during the first game played at Kingswood's $2.1 million facility in West Hartford. The kid dove. It's right there. But I never touched it. I ended up down at Foxwoods. And this was probably one of the pivotal jobs in my career. They built some great stuff down there because they have lots of money. And this is probably the first career experience where I really enjoyed what I was building, and it became about guest experience. There were some fabulous constructions, fabulous finishes down there. And that job, I was down there about 3 years. And eventually they stopped building, and I had to figure out where I was going. And looking back at making a decision of where to go next, I didn't see myself getting back into schools, hospitals, apartment towers, because I was really bitten by the bug of the theming and the interior finishes. Our job with Harry Potter was to take the themes from the movie and create reality out of it. One of our slogans is development of the immersive environment. And we worked with Stuart Craig, who was the production director for Warner Brothers. He was entrusted by J.K. Rowling to take all the movies and bring them to reality, or take all the books and bring them to reality in the movies. And then we have to take the movies and turn them into reality for tourists and develop designs and materials that are going to withstand the daily abuse that they get. So here we have the Great Hall, and everybody that came in and saw the model, the first question they asked was, are we going to be able to eat dinner in the Great Hall? And unfortunately, no. And I think Universal missed a big opportunity there to be able to have banquets and restaurants up in the Great Hall. My daughter, Megan, who was 16 at the time, she came in and saw the model, and she was an avid reader of the book. And she looked at the model and said, "Well, that's all wrong." And I had to explain to her that you lose a lot of transition and translation between the book to the movie and then building a theme park, because you're restricted by how much you can do and how much property you have to put the park on. So I go back to the dormer. The next phase we had to go through is Warner Brothers wanted to see these parts and pieces before we started construction. So we had to, basically from the UK drawings, we would fabricate what we call plugs, either with wood or clay, based from the UK drawings. We'd fabricate the first article, we call it, and get them to give us buy-off on the textures and the looks and the sizes. And then we would create a fiberglass mold and produce some first article pieces. And they had us fly them up on the cranes so they could take a look at them. Stuart Craig, he's in this photo. Stuart Craig and Alan Gilmore came over, and they had us hoist the dormer up in the air to about 100 feet because they wanted to hold true to the detailing of the movie and the design. And they wanted a guest to come into the park and take out a telephoto lens and be able to look at the castle, and no matter where they looked on the castle, could see the detail and see the intricacy of the building. So we did that for a dormer. We did it for one of the wall panels at the Great Hall. And from there, once we got approval, we were allowed to go into production. And then here's the castle under construction. The entire castle was pre-built in our yard, just like the Great Hall was. It was all parts and pieces, fully completed. And then we hoisted them in place at night and attached them to that structural frame. And there was a couple news articles that talked about how this thing just seemed like it magically appeared out of the night. Universal had us do it at nighttime because they didn't want the guests to really see what was going on. And it's kind of hard to hide this. So once we got it all assembled, we set up the scaffolding, and we had crews up there puttying all the joints and doing the finishing touches on it. And there she is. So I think, you know, when you're looking at where you're going to go and what you're going to do with your educational career, there's so much in science, technology, engineering, math that went on here at Harry Potter. You know, even if your passion is music and art, you can still take that and apply technology to it and get involved in something like this. Take whatever your passions are and use that as your strategy for setting your goals.